Hey there, everybody in Trading Land. It's Neil Pryor here, MVP here. Apologies, I haven't prepared a video for many moons. You know me, I do post regularly at Trade to Win, but sometimes it's just too difficult to get out there and get those videos rolling. Just a very quick introduction. I am MVP. I'm known as MVP at Trade to Win, for Forex Factory, and some various other sites. A little bit of background about myself, just dropping down here on the Trade to Win area. Can read this. I was actually born into a family of bookmakers, so from a very early age I've been immersed in the gambling world. My father and grandfather were professional bookmakers. They were also professional gamblers, mainly in dog racing and horse racing. So, you know, at 4 or 5 years of age, to me it was very normal to be on a track making money, taking money off punters, and to be basically helping take out phone calls, whatever, just in terms of Saturday gambling. To me, someone working in an office was a very strange thing to be. I thought everybody's dad was a bookmaker, so you have to excuse me when I do look at the markets a certain way. I've kind of been born into it, and that's why I am. So to me, trading, gambling, it's all the same thing. The one thing you have to remember is either you're on one side or the other. You're either making the money, or someone is making it off of you. That's the way you've got to be. So what I try and do is help people make money. Just mentioning it again, I am MVP. There you can see there. That's where you find me at Trade to Win. Okay, to find me at Trade to Win, if you flick through the forums, if you come to Forex, and actually there, I'm the last post there. It's called Correlation Trading, Basic Ideas and Strategies. That's where you'll find me. Let's flick through to that, shall we? And where am I? I'll be hopefully fairly high up in the rankings. There you go. We're heading towards 500,000 views, actually. I've been on for about 2 or 3 years now. Very pleased with that. Just click through into that last page. Let's see where we are. If some of you have been watching this morning, I know there's 30 to 40 people online this morning, which is great. Having a look at my site, what I do, at my thread here. Just dropping down here where I am. You can see we're live today on Sunday. Okay, I responding to Brad there, which was cool. But I did talk about today I was going to run a video, and I did ask people to give me any things they wanted to talk about. Don't think anybody came through with too much. Let's have a quick look. But this is what I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to talk about who I am and where to find me, which is what we're talking about now. I was going to talk today about my FX Correlator 20 MA default system, which you'll get for free here at this site. Quick look perhaps at gold and exotics. Exotics, I mean non-core currencies. Some of the other ones you can load up on your platforms. Quick look at my Q4 strength poll here at Trade to Win, where we were just taking some friendly bets just to see what currency would be the strongest in Q4. And a quick look at last week if we get time, the famous week, a lot going on. And I've got about 15 minutes to do it. So probably not going to be achievable in all truth, because if you've watched any of my videos before, you know I talk like crazy. I never stop talking. Just another comment. If you look at the bottom here, when you are at Trade to Win, you see this at the bottom here? If you click through to any of these, you will get free information, free documentation on my core systems. This is where I use relative strength. This is where I do various things. So it's all here. All you've got to do is click on these, and you'll go straight through to the information. It's all there. If you're not sure what to do, just ask me on this website. I won't, or on this thread. I won't bite. It says here that I am a coach and a trainer, which I am, but I have to say at this moment I'm not doing any commercial training or coaching. I haven't got the time, to be honest. I have a busy job as well, other things going on, social life, as we all do have. I trade part-time. That is what I do. Will I ever become a full-time currency trader? I doubt it. I haven't got the time, to be honest. Also, it can bore one senseless, let's be honest. It's not the world's most exciting thing, sitting there hour after hour trying to trade. So again, I'll probably always do this as part-time, but it does bring the money in for me when I need it. And I want to try and help you do that. So in watching these videos and other things. So this is where you come and have a look. I'm always here most days, posting on and off when I can, trying to trade when I can and show you what's happening. So that's me there. Also, video-wise, FX Correlator videos. There's a series of videos here. I've posted a lot more than this, because I think I was up at about 120 videos at one point, but I deleted a lot of them because they were saying the same thing, and I've tried to keep the core ones here. They go back about 2 years, and obviously this one is now online as well. There is also one there which is a very simple, basic one. It talks about how I use strength meters, and again I'd recommend you have a look at that. I think we're up at about 500 to 1,000 viewings on that now, but it's worth coming in and popping in every now and again. Perhaps register for this, subscribe to it, it's free, and see what I come up with sometimes. I will promise again to try and do more of these in the future. Okay, last but not least, not my proudest hour at the moment, I've got to say. I do have a website. In fact, I have 2 or 3 websites where I was doing training. I did some training early on this year for 6 months with some kind of turtles, if you want to call them that. It seemed to go pretty well, but it taught me a lot about how to teach people and what I can and can't do in a short period of time. Hopefully it taught them a lot. So FXCorrelator.com is my own website. It does belong to me. At the moment, we have some issues with the guys that do this for me in San Francisco. I'm very unhappy with them. We just can't seem to get through this malware block at the moment. So apologies for that. There's hundreds of people actually that are registered there and should be getting updates from me daily. Again, apologies. Please don't go there. I don't know what's going on at the moment. I promise to try and fix it in the next month or 2. But again, it's all down to time. I had a business IT partner who sadly has been quite ill and hasn't been able to help us much. So again, I apologise. FXCorrelator.com. If you can get through that malware, please, it's all there. But at the moment, probably not recommended as Google here is telling us. So apologies for that. That's work in progress. So this is probably where best to get me at the moment. Come to my site here at Trade to Win, correlation, basic ideas and strategies under the Forex area. Okay, so let's go and have a little chat about what's happening, what to do, and the FX Correlator tool itself. Okay, let's talk about my basic tool. This is the FX Correlator. This is what I do. This is shown at the bottom here, the FX Correlator. It's downloadable at Trade to Win. It's free, and I ask nothing for it. Honestly, it's a fairly good little tool, but I'm certainly not going to have the audacity to charge you money for it. Sure, one day if you were working with me, I might charge fees for using my consultancy, but not the tool itself. Please don't ever pay for this online anywhere. Some people may try and charge you for it on eBay, but it's free from me. Okay, very simple. It's a strength meter. What it means, each of these colors represents a currency. And it's based on strength. I've got this on a 20 moving average setting. That's my core default setting. And above, it's set on the Dow. This is the Dow. This is the one that goes up to about 13,500 sometimes. You can also use the S&P if you want. It doesn't matter. It's just giving you a reflection of US equities. Okay. So 20 SMA on there. 20. So you notice the 20 SMA setting there matches the 20 setting I've got on my FX Correlator. Very, very simple rules. Here are my rules, 2 rules. When the Dow is up, that is, when it is above the 20 SMA, like here, all of this here, when it's above, you should be looking to sell the US dollar and yen. US dollar and yen. US dollar is green, yen is yellow. Whenever you see an scenario here, with any time frame with it above the 20, you should be looking to sell it. What does sell mean? It means when these guys, the yellow and the green, are below that dotted line, below 0. Okay? It's that simple. A lot of people accuse me of making it too simple. You can't make it too simple. You can add some complexities to it later on down the line, but keep it simple. One of the basic laws of the universe, keep things simple. Okay? In opposite terms, when the Dow is down or falling or below its 20, look to buy the USD and yen here. Okay, it's that simple. You're looking for you're just looking for a bias to give you an idea of what to do. It doesn't tell you what pair to trade with, the US dollar or yen. Obviously, it could be euro yen, it could be pound dollar. The point is, it's giving you a bias. It's giving you a direction as to what you should be doing. Very important in trading, very important. It's giving you a high-level bias. It's giving you an idea of where your edge is. Don't just chase currencies up and down blindly. Try and look for something that gives you an edge. Okay? Just to give you an example, this is the daily. It can be used on any time frame, but I've got this set up on the daily at the moment to see what we've been up to. We're going back to June, so we're virtually 6 months of the year here. And as you noticed, if you look at the Dow's been creeping up slowly. It's had a bad a bad period, a bad month or so. But generally, it's been creeping up very nicely. So what do we do when the Dow is up and above its 20, which is a lot? What do we do? Sell the USD and yen. So here, can you see how the dollar and the yen lines, which are in bold, can you see how they've spent? Well, there was quite a bit of time above. But can you see some of these big periods? See here, a big push through this month when there was a lot of time when it was above. Look at all the sells that we could have gone into. That means buying other currencies and selling these guys. This was actually a bit of a flat month. But look at this month here. This month, predominantly, you can see that it stayed above the 20, especially towards the back end of August. So for most of August, it was above the Dow. Look what it meant down here. Look at the sell-in. Sell, sell, sell. Why are these guys are south? You're buying other currencies into them. if you see this, you actually see that the dollar, it tipped up there, but the dollar and the yen, they never really got above their zero all through the month of August. Okay, September was even more crazy. Look at September. Look at the Dow. The whole of September above there. So guess what happened? Excuse me. Look at the massive sales that happened. Okay, I mean, if you follow MACDs, you'll understand this is almost like a MACD. Just because that's going up doesn't mean to say necessarily that the dollar and the yen are flying upwards and you should buy them. All it means is that there's been a severe divergence from the zero in the first half of the month, and this is just slowly trickling back. You only really pay attention to whether you should be buying these guys when they get above the line. So anything below the line really is about divergence and then slow retracement. Okay, started to flatten a bit now, and just to finish this off, if you can see now, through October we started to see some severe attacks on the Dow, and November is really under pressure. We're down below the 13s now comfortably. Guess what that means? Yes, you should be rushing to buy the dollar and the yen. Well, this is where the world is a nasty place. Unfortunately, there were some early periods in October where the dollar and the yen were above the zero, so we were looking for some big sales. See how the Aussie got killed early October. That's orange there, the Aussie. It's been difficult. I'll tell you why it's been difficult, because life is never easy. Currency trading is never easy. We've had the dollar above the line for most of this period, and as you can see, it's comfortably here. The yen didn't play the game. This is what made me very nervous. Look how low the yen was through this period, when really, and if you're a follower of the carry trade or the uncarried trade, in fact, when you do the reverse, you should realize that basically when equities start to fall, generally that's the time to pile into things like the dollar and the yen. Didn't happen. Go and ask the Bank of Japan. They'll give you a very, very inscrutable explanation as to why. If most people realize, Bank of Japan thrown their hat into the QE market, however you want to call it, and at this moment, pretty hard, but they're trying to suppress the value of their currency. They have an economic downturn. I think it's their fourth economic recession now in about the last 15 years, having a disastrous time. One of the things you do to try and correct that is you try and weaken your currencies so you can export more. That's what they're trying to do. Do you know what? The market has more money than any individual government in the world. Possibly the US dollar could give them a run for their money. Don't beat the markets. And as you can see, as time has gone on, look at this, as the pressure has continued on US equities. That's not US equities, that's global equities as well. US equities mirror the world generally. Look at this. The yen has actually come back in the last month. They couldn't suppress it anymore. And look how it's raced back, and now actually has eclipsed everybody. The yen is my bet for Q4 as the strongest currency, by the way. If you go to my other Trade to Win site, my other Trade to Win thread, I'm having a few friendly bets there. Go and put a bet on. It's great fun. But I'm really watching the yen. And now, as the yen starts to kick in, okay, we've got another 6 weeks left or so, but I'm finally seeing that the yen's starting to get a real kicker in there, and I'm hoping that the yen will end up the strongest currency in Q4. I'm certainly betting on it, and as you can see, it's starting to oblige now. Wasn't too clever in October. November, boy oh boy, the yen is back. So you can read more about this at Trade to Win, about what I do. It's that simple. Sure, there's some additional complexities. I trade up and down the time frames, but I do use the higher time frames like this to give me a guide and ask me any questions there. So that's really my basic system in a nutshell, and I hope that's been interesting to you. Very quickly, while we're on the subject, someone asked me, is there a way, without getting into all this fancy correlator markets and stuff, is there a way that, say, daily or the 4-hour time frame could give me an idea of what to trade or not to trade? This is how I do it. It's literally just gone online at Trade to Win, posted it last few days. Here is a really simple way to do it. First of all, let's go to the 4-hour. Okay, I'm going to crush this up a bit so you can't see that. Don't worry about what it's on. Put this literally on any chart. You can see lots of lines here. I'm going to open it up a little bit for you. Okay, I'll tell you the fastest way. And Brad kindly online reminded me about this. Go to right-click your setup. Go to inputs. Make the delta 3. I'm not going to go into detail while it just makes things a little bit smoother. You want a 20-period average. You want a delta 3. Say OK. You want to compress this a little. Right. On the left here, it tells you what colours the currencies are. Okay, you're on a 20 moving average delta setting. If you want to know how to trade your hourly chart, if you've got a signal on a particular pair, you want to understand if it's worth trading them or not, 15-minute even, just follow this on a 4-hour. Okay, the 23. Can you see the order of these currencies at this point? Okay, working from strongest to weakness, the strongest is the yen. Okay, the weakest is now the red pound. Okay, based on the order of these, if you say had in the lower time frames you were looking at something, and let's say for example you really were looking to buy the Aussie dollar against the US dollar. Okay, say that you really wanted to buy that. What you would do is you would come along here and check the order of the currencies. If you wanted to buy the Aussie dollar against the US dollar, check the order. The Aussie dollar is actually below the US dollar. That means at this point that, and this is how it shows it here. See, the US dollar is actually stronger than the Aussie dollar at the moment. So the only trades you can make in lower time frames is selling the Aussie dollar against the US dollar. When this gets back above, and as you can see here, if you go back here, back around the 5th of November, can you see here when the Aussie dollar got above the US dollar? If on lower time frames you saw an opportunity to trade that, you would be allowed to trade it. Okay, why? Because on a higher time frame, this is telling you the bias is to buy buy Aussie dollar. Okay, so looking through here, what have we learnt in terms of what's going on at the moment? So in terms of the week just gone, here's the 5th of November all the way through to the back end of the week. As you can see, when you came into the when we came into the week, there was quite a lot of mix going on here. But can you see here how these three currencies, which is the Swissy, the Euro, and the Pound, can you see how they were below all the others? And the US dollar obviously is a very prime cross currency to trade. Can you see how it told us in the early part of the week, just sell them against the US dollar? In fact, it got close here, but can you see how it moved away again? So at no time during this week were you really looking, for example, apart from a very brief period there, all of this week generally, if you saw opportunities to sell the euro against the US dollar, that was what this system was telling you to do. On the 15 minutes, on the 1 hour, it was telling you to do that. And again, the proof's in the pudding. Here is the euro against US this week. Remember, this is on high time frames, equivalent to this. But you can see what was happening here. So generally, the general message from this bias that we looked at was that these guys, which was the here there, I've just made it a bit clearer. So all the time, the signal, apart from there, which was probably around this period, to be honest with you, on the right chart here, it was saying sell the euro if you get the right signal. So you can imagine looking at this on lower time frames, going down to the hour and the 15, you can see where the signals were. But can you see how this gives you an idea of how you should be trading? So it's very simple, guys. It's actually much even simpler than some of the other stuff I do, but it gives you a bias. It gives you a bias as to where to trade. If you're really struggling with a signal you get on a lower time frame, you're not sure what to do, why don't you pop up a couple of levels, put this setting on, and it will give you the bias. It will give you some rules to work to. Okay? If these two are very close together as well, then don't trade. Perhaps it's not giving you enough confidence that you wish. Okay? So just a little bit of help there, hopefully, and advice to you.